Hello everyone, this is Praise the Dark here, and this might be something you would not expect to hear from me, but I am not excited for the remastered version of Dark Souls. Now bear with me. Dark Souls has been one of my favorite, if not my favorite game of all time. I mean, I've been obsessed with the game since 2011, and I've played it for thousands of hours across all of the platforms, and hell, I even made a YouTube channel devoted to it. But still, excitement is not necessarily the word I would use in regard to the upcoming release of Dark Souls Remastered. Instead, I'd call it nervousness. Dark Souls is something I hold pretty dear. I mean, I love the lore, I love the gameplay, and yeah, it surely has its flaws, but it still surpasses the likes of many other games by a long shot. I'm nervous because this remaster could either be really great, or really just mediocre. Now, I'm not going to go on a tangent about all the information that's available surrounding the remaster because by now I'm sure all of you have heard it incessantly, but I do want to center around the point that the game is not being developed by From Software, at least not in excess. Dark Souls Remastered, according to sources, is primarily being developed by the Polish company Q-Lock, which is both good and bad. It is good because Q-Lock has been known to have made some critically acclaimed remasters in the past, such as Dragon's Dogma as well as Dead Rising, which shows they have a pretty good track record with respect to remasters. However, it's a bit disheartening because the lack of From Software's involvement shows that there will be little in terms of changes to the game. I know a lot of us would be excited to see what Izalith would look like if it were actually finished, and what the god-awful bed of chaos would be like if it were a proper boss, but I just don't see an outside company doing heavy lifting like that. If you look at what Q-Lock's remasters have been like in the past, you can see that they are not super overhauls or anything like that. At best, I'd imagine we'd get a Scholar of the First Sin treatment with improved lighting and upscaled textures. Now at this point in the video, I expect you think that I probably hate the idea of this remaster coming to fruition, but now I'm going to talk about why this isn't the case at all. If we go back into the information about the remaster, one of the most highlighted points is the fact that it will be running in 60 FPS on all platforms but the Switch. This is where things get a bit questionable, because if we remember back to all the mods that were used to achieve this frame rate in Dark Souls, we'd realize how broken the game gets when we bring the frames past where the engine allows. For example, here's me on Dark Souls showing off the difference in jump distances between 60 FPS and 30 FPS. 60 FPS totally breaks jumping and forces the character to land way earlier than what is meant to happen normally. On top of that, I bet you all remember the dreaded stuck at the bonfire glitch that occurs with 60 FPS. 60 frames per second was very obviously not meant to work on this engine, and I find the idea that From Software would release a game with the same old engine running a non-native frame rate that ultimately breaks the game is appalling. And that's why I think a new engine is most likely being introduced with this remaster, unless some magic trick is pulled out of From's ass to make the 60 FPS work properly here. I think we could be in store for some big changes. I mean, shit, From Software could be even more involved than we know. So no, I'm not necessarily excited, but that's mostly because we haven't seen or heard much of anything yet. I'll keep my fingers crossed until some gameplay is finally released for us all to see. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and if you liked this video, please show me some love in the comments, or by dropping a like. It really means a lot. Also, I've been streaming on Twitch a lot the past couple weeks, and if you ever want to drop in and keep me some company while I do some speedruns or some PvP, I stream pretty much every day at around 5 or 6 Eastern Standard Time. I'll leave a link to my channel there in the description below, guys. Anyway, this is Praise the Dark, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.